Welcome to the Democrat and Chronicle digital studio. Stevie Johnson and James Johnson. And finally, we have spring football in Section 5. Well, sort of. The schedule is out, and we see a lot of interesting matchups. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to talk football in the spring. Highly unusual here, but it's that exciting, some of these matchups.
Well, for me personally, it's never too early to talk about football. It's a year-round thing from where I'm from. But things starting off, the first game that caught our attention was this upcoming year's Teddy Bowl. Be Victor again, but this time to be facing Canandaigua. These two teams, they played twice last year. Canandaigua gave them a tough, I think it was a 12-0 loss in the regular season. Then they came back in the sectional semifinal and really took it to them, and you were at that game, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I was a little surprised about how one-sided it was. I mean, Canandaigua was the #1 seed, correct?
Yep.
In a very tough Class A, and it was Victor's day for sure.
I think the question is, of course, we don't know what could happen over the summer, so of course we're just projecting who we expect to be back. But you know Victor's going to return a lot. Joey Pesarmini, Rashawn Baker, Camden Hay. Canandaigua should have back Seth McNary, but I wonder what they're going to do. They're losing a lot of those wide receivers, losing their quarterback, Jack Johnston. So I wonder what type of team, they kind of put out a new offense last year, and it was rolling up until that sectional semifinal. So it'll be interesting to see how the Braves really look this year.
Yeah, I mean, we know Canandaigua kind of reminds me of Hilton. There's going to be a standard. Doesn't matter if they graduate everyone or they bring everyone back. It's going to be some standard. It's just a matter of how good they're going to be, how formidable they're going to be. But another good matchup in Week 1. A lot of these leagues and rivalry games are going away with this federation scheduling. But we got Aquinas at McQuaid.
What's the streak now for Aquinas? You remember?
It's pretty long. I don't think I could count that high. That's why I'm writing for a living.
Well, look, it's just at least for McQuaid. McQuaid's another team they're replacing a lot of production. AGR quarterback, Hunter Walsh, I believe AGR wide receiver, being bowl champion, tight end as well. So while Aquinas, if they bring back everybody they're supposed to, they have Stephen Mahar, one of the top prospects in the Northeast. Rutgers, Boston College, which are some of the schools that offer them. You know what Tyler Zakowski can do, quarterback. They got a running back. They got the wide receivers. So the question I think for Aquinas will be, will they be able to gel with their offensive line early? If so, not sure for McQuaid. That's a tough season opening game against the defending state champs.
Yeah, it's like one of those sticker games. You do something, or you at least give a good account of yourself. You kind of stamp yourself as, hey, we're for real. We're going to be okay.
Yeah.
So it should be interesting. We go to Week 2, and we got a rematch of one very lopsided playoff game last year. Irondequoit at East High.
Battle of the Eagles, and Irondequoit, another team. If you haven't noticed a trend, there's a lot of production that graduated last year from a lot of these big name teams.
Yeah.
East is a team. No, they don't have Seven McGee anymore. He's out in California. The Oregon committee is doing his thing, but their team on paper, they should be bringing a lot back. Freddie Brock made AGR last year, picked up an offer from Albany just a couple of weeks ago. They should return the quarterback Anthony Gilbert. They have wide receivers. They have speed. Their question would be replacing those big boys on the offensive line. As for Irondequoit, their coach told us himself, he thought Freddie Jr. was the best high school player he ever coached. I know he's a great coach, but I wonder if there's going to be any type of learning curve for the next guy that has to fill into his shoes, not to mention you lose guys like Jaden Turner, both their wide receivers, Pat Thomas and Quinn Simonson. So East will have to come in this game motivated. It's going to be at home, at their spot. Lost 39-8 last year. They really that's just how they ended the season on a sour note with the way they lost that game.
Yeah, I was shocked at that. I mean, maybe not that Irondequoit won, but just they rolled right over a high-scoring East team, or a team with that amount of talent.
Yeah, and not to mention the East defense was pretty good last year. They only had two teams, I think, score more than 13 points on them, McQuaid and Irondequoit. So
yeah, they ran into a quarterback at a different level, at least around here at the high school level.
Yep.
We go on to Pittsford at Aquinas. As you could tell, Aquinas is a marquee team in this area. Again, if you do something against them, you're really showing people something. But it's kind of good to see them playing more local teams this year.
Isn't there a little history between the two, allegedly?
Yeah, but I don't know. Maybe it's more between the fans or what have you than maybe the coaching staffs and what have you. Little question about where the information came from as far as Aquinas using an ineligible player, went to the courts, and Pittsburgh happened to be the team that Aquinas was playing, and they moved on. But this is that was way back when. Talking about 2019. Again, we don't know who has what exactly coming back, but as far as box office appeal, name appeal, should be pretty interesting.
Yeah, like you said, if you're able to do something against Aquinas that lets people know that you're for real, somebody to watch come section.
Yeah, well, reigning state champion. A lot of talk about some of the talent you see on this Aquinas team.
Man, it really could go all day. Like I said, you lose guys like Kobe McNair, Karan Robinson, James Jones, who was a state championship MVP. I think you would think, hey, we're gonna have to rebuild, but like I said, depending on the offensive line, they could be just as good. You got the quarterback, running back Ruben Torres, almost rushed for 1,000 yards. Manny Russell, Ulysses' real name, is a great defensive back, great wide receiver. Like I said, I talked about Stevie Mahar earlier. The guy's got all these Power 5 offers, and he didn't touch the ball a lot last year, so he's going to be a guy that they can rely on to step up. Got Will Benjamin, who was a freshman who really showed out. So they have weapons all over the place, man. They just, as long as their O-line is as strong as it was last year, or even close to that level, I think they'll be hard to beat. I'll put it like that.
Yeah, I think the Aquinas coaching staff, I think that's where they start with everything on the offensive line. So I expect it to be pretty good again.
Yeah.
This next one, I think, maybe I'm wrong, I think we're both really excited about this one. Wilson at Eastridge, a Class A matchup, so maybe not as much appeal as there is out there, but as people who kind of know area football, this is going to be a very interesting matchup.
Yeah, Eastridge is one of the few teams I never got to watch last season. I know they bring back, they're supposed to bring back a couple interesting guys. Sharon Davis, kind of a wide receiver athlete type, is one of them. Wilson, they had a young quarterback, Sam Jackson, step up and almost knock off a Chronicle. He led him, I think, to the 4-yard line. Ended up getting sacked on the game-deciding play. So they replaced some heavy hitters too with Ricky Gamble and Desi Floyd. So it'll be interesting to see how they look. And I think whoever wins this game, we expect Victor to be pretty good. We expect East to be pretty good. But I think whoever wins this game could emerge as another one of those teams that could contend for that sectional title in Class A.
Definitely be in the mix. Definitely be in the mix. And another interesting game, Class B power Batavia. They'll come to Greece, west side of Monroe County, and play at Arcadia. Arcadia has a very interesting player, made the second team, or Greater Rochester team. I want to see if they take that step forward. Hey, we're a contender. We're legit. We're a good team. Yeah. Not a 500 team, a good team.
When talking to Batavia coach Brendan Briggs, he thinks they're going to take that step. He thinks they'll be very good. This was a team where they started, I think, 5-0 last year, but they were kind of struggled to get respect because of their schedule. And it didn't help that they lost 3 straight games to other playoff teams to end the season. So Arcadia should come out motivated. Even though Batavia's a Class B school, they're probably, I think, another team that even without the HR Player of the Year, Ray Leach, is still willing to return a lot of talent. So I think, if they can beat them, and I think that's late season, week 6, if they're able to pull that out, that's a momentum you need to go into sessions when you got something to prove against Victor, East, and whoever else steps up.
Yeah, definitely. Even though they would be against a smaller school, you beat a quality team. And that's what we're all about. So, and then another good old-fashioned rivalry still in the books. Hilton at Fairport. It seems like they have some very good games. I remember covering a game where there was a last-second field goal, some other back-and-forth contests. Hilton at Fairport. What do we get?
Well, I'm sure it'll be interesting. It'll be very interesting. I think Fairport, when they beat Hilton last year, I think that was kind of raised some eyes around section. It was one of Mark Vidacourt, first-year coach last year. one of, I think, his signature wins. You know, they went 6-2. Only teams they lost to was Pittsburgh by a combined 4 points, I believe, too. So he set a really good foundation. They got a couple Division I signees that they'll need to replace, including Oname Kessington, who was, I believe, Monroe County Division I Player of the Year. He's going out to Cornell. So they'll have to replace some senior leadership as well. But I like what Vidicor is building out there.
Yeah, and it was interesting. Right after Hilton lost that game, they didn't lose again until the playoffs, I believe. And so it'll be interesting to see is Hilton's coach, Rich Lapani, still climbing up the career coaching wins. He's up there now. And two old-fashioned Monroe County rivals going at it. We already know, just like we said before with Canandaigua, Hilton's going to be a certain good. Doesn't matter if it's me, you, and Jenny out there playing. We're going to win 4 games.
Yep.
Automatic. It's just the question is, are we going to win 7?
Yep.
You know? So can't wait for it all to play out. Check out DemocratandChronicle.com for more high school coverage.